I bought this faux leather journal last year to help keep track of my thoughts and found it to be a useful tool. So for Christmas 2021, I decided to make customized leather journal covers for my family. Today is January 28th, 2022, so I should really get started. I've been leatherworking as a hobby for a couple years, but this will be my first time making a video of it. I know a little bit about leatherworking and nothing at all about making videos, so here goes nothing. Now, step one is to take your vegetable tanned leather and cut it out and dye it to... Oh, what's that? I forgot to record that part? Alright, never mind. I did it off camera. I told you I don't know how to make videos. For this project, I'm using 2 to 3 ounce vegetable tanned leather. I used mink oil to waterproof and soften the leather, which also is what gave it this nice brown color that I like. The design is pretty straightforward. I'll attach a strip for the snap closure, and then the side panels to hold the notebook inserts. First, I use my edge tool on the leather to show where my stitch lines will go, and then make the stamping easier to space out. Now I wet the leather to soften it up in preparation for stamping. Stamping is by far my least favorite part of the process, as it's permanent and incredibly easy to screw up.
Oh, fuck. Went straight through the leather.
Yeah, that's about the point.
Nope.
Sorry, Mom. No, just gotta keep going. I had trouble with the audio for the upcoming part, so here's some hearty folk music I was able to get for free from the public domain. If you're wondering if this is what it sounded like in real life while I was doing this, the answer is no. My roommate was watching Dunkirk in the background. Most of the leatherworking videos I've seen, people have really nice setups and professional tools and everything, but now's probably a good time to mention I'm working on my kitchen table. I wanted a nice COVID hobby, and you really don't need much to get started, so if you're interested, you can pull it off with just a desk. Alright, not bad. Glad to be done with the stamping. Next, I need to attach the strip so I can put the snap enclosure on, which needs to go on before I can put the side panels. Using polyester thread for this project, which means that to finish it, you actually burn the edges and melt them into place. It's by far the most satisfying part of the project. Alrighty, with the strips sewn on, it's time to punch holes for the snaps to mount it through. Okay, with the studs in place, we can now move on and start gluing our side panels down. Using leatherworking cement, and the purpose of the glue is really just to hold it in place while you sew the thing on, which is what permanently attaches it. Now, at the end of the stitching, to prevent the threads from pulling out, you actually back up a few threads, and then you'll burn the ends like we did before. Very satisfying. Alrighty, we are in the home stretch. It's time to finish our edges, so I'm going to start by cutting off the excess bits, and then we can burnish them. Our first step in burnishing is to sand the edges, which gives us a nice flat edge on which to work. It also gets rid of any bits of glue or whatever else has gotten on the edges during our work. Next we use our edge beveler. This will put a nice chamfer on the edge and allow for nice rounded corners when we do our actual burnishing. I'm using a number 2 edge beveler, mostly because it's the only one I own, but also it's suitable for thin leathers like this number 2 leather that I'm using. Burnishing the leather is a fancy way of saying polishing the edges. Instead of a rough cut, you end up with a durable, waterproof, and polished finish on your edges. You can use a lot of different materials to burnish. I like to use hunks of beeswax. They're effective, cheap, and they're the classic choice. I like to use traditional tools whenever possible. If a leatherworker from 2000 BC saw these tools I'm using, they'd recognize them immediately, and I think that's pretty cool. Alright, the lighter and the steel chisel would be pretty mind-blowing for them, but you get what I mean. This wooden edge slicker is another one of those tools my Neanderthal ancestors liked to use. The idea is to rub it fast enough on the coated leather edge to meld the beeswax in for a uniform, waterproof finish that's bonded into one solid piece of leather. Alright, with the edges burnished, we can move on to the actual last pinky promise step, which is to polish the leather. For this, I'm using Saphir, a French leather shoe polish. It too is beeswax based, and will help soften and protect the leather, as well as giving it a nice scent. You apply a coat, and then after 5 minutes, you just have to polish it off. Using our bone folder, we can unstick the inner glue to make room for our notebook inserts. I basically eyeballed the dimensions and went for it, so I hope they fit. Alright, here we are with the final product. You may notice the difference in color between the pairs, which is due to using the last of a shoulder of leather for the first pair and a new shoulder for the second pair. I didn't expect it, but I'm not mad about it. In fact, overall, I'm happy with how they turned out, particularly the B patterns for my sisters. Time to ship these out and get back on the nice list. Merry Christmas, y'all, and I'll see you in January for the next round.